Give first. It's one of the core philosophies of the bolder startup scene, and it's actually a really interesting sales strategy articulated in the book The Go-Giver by Bob Burg and John David Mann. In this episode, we're going to explore how Give First works, why it's effective for CAS, and how you can integrate this strategy into your sales process. Let's dive in. All right, welcome to another episode of CAS Minute. Today we are diving into the Give First sales strategy. The Give First strategy is a sales approach where you lead with value. You give first. You offer insights, tools, or advice before asking for anything in return. As we've talked a lot about this trusted advisor cliche in our industry, it's still pertinent to develop that type of relationship with a prospect. So in the book, The Go-Giver by Bob Burg and John David Mann, they promote how to maintain a service-oriented mindset in sales. So how do you build trust before the sale? How do you position yourself as this trusted advisor? When we think about our services, they're intangible. Trust is a critical factor in the buying decision. Offering that value upfront gives clients a glimpse into the expertise that they'll receive. Now, a lot of accountants are in favor of doing things like a paid analysis or a paid review of the books or a paid feedback tool in order to generate some degree of buy-in from a client before they move forward with ongoing services. Now, I personally don't like that approach because I feel like it's one of those things that can be done for free. Clearly, accountants are trying to drive additional profitability through that. And knowing that there's margin involved, it's one of those things where I'm like, listen, if it takes an hour of my time from a customer acquisition cost perspective, I'm okay doing this thing for free. And if it truly adds value to the prospect, that makes me even more happy. If it helps them make a more informed buying decision, whether that's for me or that individual that I'm talking to, I am giving first. And I feel like philosophically, that's how I want to carry a lot of my prospecting and sales conversations. And so I'm not charging for that. I don't think there's anything wrong with going ahead to charge with analysis or something upfront in your sales process. But generally, this philosophy would maybe go against some of the core tenets of having a paid consultative approach in your sales process. First, when you're looking at implementing a give first strategy, the first step is identifying what are those high value gives for a prospect. What are those free consultations or assessments that you can do based on benchmark data or KPIs? What are those things that you can give? And there's one element of like, you can give tactical deliverables to a prospect that helps drive and deliver value early. You want out of this first step, when you identify these high value gives, you want the second step to be delivering that value. So you can structure your sales conversation to focus on helping the client solve a problem or understand a potential opportunity right away. So to action that, you can lead with a question like, what's your biggest financial pain point right now? It's a generic question, but it can bubble up a lot of things that maybe you hadn't considered thinking about. It's very open-ended. Or you can ask the magic wand question. If you waved a magic wand, what would this function look like to you in 6 months? What type of deliverable would you be receiving? What type of data would you be well equipped with in order to run your business more efficiently? So those are some ways that you can think about implementing this strategy. When you think about non-quantitative or non-consultative deliverables to share with a client, this is more of the realm where I like to live because I'm a highly relational person. I like interacting with people and understanding what drives them. Generally, what I'm looking to do is ask questions in other arenas of their business to understand what's causing them pain. And oftentimes that may or may not be financial. And so I want to leverage the power of my network, of my relationships, of content that's been produced to be able to equip that person with a new connection, an introduction. Maybe that's an investor, maybe it's an HR professional, maybe it's somebody outside of the realm of what we do that could help further their business. I like to establish trust that way from like a social proof perspective, because on one hand, it helps them solve a problem. On the other hand, it validates our standing in the market relative to the person that we're introducing. And so you go ahead and position yourself as this advisor beyond just what you're accomplishing in the accounting and CAS sector. So that's how I like to think about Give First. When you think about scaling this, you can start using your content as your give. Like I mentioned, as you create marketing assets for your firm, you can give these to prospects as resources for them to help make better decisions. You can then also incorporate technology to deliver value. So if you have this Give First strategy, you can have an automated sequence or follow-up post meeting to say, hey, here's something I think might be helpful for you. I just wanted to drop this into your inbox. So once you have a library of gives or assets that your team can use during these prospect meetings, that well equips your team to be able to take this Give First methodology and resource it really well in the sales process. Now, you always have to be aware that you need to balance the giving with protecting your value. You don't always want to over give for folks that may take advantage of you. So while this generosity does build trust, it's important to avoid the over giving to the point that clients don't see the need to engage with you any further. So be cognizant of that, take an internal analysis on it, and think about ways that you can structure your give as a teaser for your broader services. I hope that overview on the Go Giver is helpful, and we're going to spend more time on sales and other things in future episodes. Till next time.